Not 100% live yet. Well, I mean, we're live. Getting in the shot. There we go. I'm gonna grab a drink. You want another drink?
Yeah.
What do you want?
Sprite.
Sprite. Echo. Brighton dining room light.
Share. Twitter.
This is your last one.
My life is in shambles.
In shambles?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's in shambles.
What are we talking about?
Talking about the prices.
Right. I don't even know what we're talking about. Hi, how am I feeling? Pregnancy-wise, I'm feeling fine. I'm just tired. Because I didn't sleep at all last night.
Oh, I guess you can tell I haven't done a live video in a long time.
Why?
Because I didn't hook up the microphone.
Oh. Yeah, I got like 0 sleep last night. And then I had to work today. And it was crazy.
Let's see if this cuts out.
Busy.
Can anybody hear us?
I don't know. I assume they could have heard us before.
I mean, I just hooked up the microphone.
Oh. Can you hear me? Hello?
So I didn't know if it would
No one's responding. I'm going to say they can't hear us. Nope, they can hear us.
They can hear us?
Yeah.
Okay. You can tell how professional I am.
I'm hungry.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Hello. What's happening? Sorry. Yeah, you can tell how professional I am. I completely forgot.
Hello. It was supposed to be green. You clicked there. Wait. Now
Okay.
it's green again. No.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're good.
Don't touch it.
I touched something.
Wait, it keeps going to red.
No, it's fine. See, it's fine. Everybody can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. Completely sorry. Sound check. Sound check. 1 2 1 2 3. You can tell it's been a long while since we've done this. Don't mind the mess in the back, baby stuff, and I gotta figure out what's going on with this chair here. Other than that, hold on, let's get a little more light. Echo, turn on the kitchen. Thank you.
I don't like her.
Echo can be annoying every now and then. All right, so you guys know why we are here. You know why.
Now she's talking. This is why I can't stand her. She interrupts everything. Echo, shut up.
Shut up, Echo.
Thank you.
We get so angry with her sometimes. It's amazing. All right, so you guys know why we are here. You guys know why you are here. We are going.
I don't actually really know why we're here.
We're here to discuss in further detail these price increases.
How many pages of notes do you have?
I have pages of notes. These prices for both Disneyland California pass holder prices and Disneyland Paris's fast pass prices. The reason why we were going over this, because I tell people when all this stuff was happening, whether at California or Paris, I would tell people just imagine or just cross off California and Paris and put Disney World. Because these testings, that's what these are. These are testings, all right?
Testings. This is your opinion.
This is my opinion, but this is, I would imagine, pretty accurate.
Tony's always right.
Tony is good. Tony is wise. No, it's possible that with these testings, things are going to happen here at Disney World. Yeah, because we are the Mecca. Let's be honest. So they are not going to test at their most traveled theme park. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion. That would be stupid, because what if something really goes wrong? They could lose all this money even more. So you got to test in smaller areas, and if they work, then you implement them over to the bigger areas. That's usually how it works. So first off, let's go over Paris's Fast Pass. That was the first thing that was announced way before. So let's go over that. I do not want to pay for rides after already paying $120 to get in. Fair. Very, very fair. Now, somebody on Twitter, I don't know who this person is, and I forget their name, or I will search it where I got this information on Twitter from a woman from Paris who goes to Disneyland. And in the comment section, I will credit you for this. She was nice enough to take the rides that they have that are similar, or the exact ones that they have there, to what we have here at Disney World, and she
created the
pricings from the euros to what it translate to U.S. currency, U.S. dollars.
The U.S. and the euro were pretty similar at this point.
I don't think so.
I thought they were. I don't know. I don't travel.
And I
travel the world via Epcot.
That's right. And I don't remember my euros. You know what I mean? Like, I felt so bad when I was going to, so I was like, thank goodness for this woman to go over this. So let's just jump into this. So
$1 US equals 0.85 euros. So it is pretty similar. Similar. I didn't say the same. Similar.
So these charges are for each attraction. These are attractions that you will find at Disney World, okay? So we're going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 attractions Paris has that are similar, or that we'll find here at Disney World. So Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin is 15 euros per guest. That equals to $18 US dollars per person for a fast pass for Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin. This is all on top of your ticket.
That's dumb.
Star Tours is 8 euros per person, which translates to $9.50 American.
Wait, okay, so hold on. I know you're going to keep
No, that's fine, because I am going to keep going.
But, you have to think. When people do fast passes, they typically do more than one ride.
Yes.
So let's say, for example, going off of what Laura said, that it's a day that it's costing $120 per day.
Yes.
Just to get into the park.
Per person per day.
And then if you want to add the fast pass on top of it, and let's say you're a family of 4, and now you want to go ride Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin, and now you got to add 18 times 4 on top of the 120
What's 18 times 4? Let's do this is all it's about. We're having math class right now.
Well, let's first do the 120 times a family of 4 is already $480.
For a day.
For a day.
Okay, then add 18 times 4 for just one fast pass.
So that's $72 for a family of 4 just to ride that one ride for a fast pass. So plus the 40. So right there, you're spending $552 for your family of 4. And that's only for one fast pass. That's dumb.
Now, I will say before I continue, I was very surprised to hear the $18 because I didn't think it was going to exceed $15. I thought $15 was going to be the max, and maybe $5 would be the minimum.
Who knows? Maybe it would be $15, but that's still
like I said,
$45.
It could be cheaper here at Disney World because there are more rides. But
60.
This is just these prices right now are Paris prices, and we're just translating them to US dollars of what these could be.
So to answer your question, Universal does charge for their version.
We're going to talk about that.
However, they don't charge per ride.
We're going to talk about that.
And I don't know what the price is now.
$70.
So it's $70 a person to do their express pass.
That's a fixed price.
But that's a fixed price.
That's any ride. All the rides.
And the difference with Universal is you don't have to do a reservation time. You literally just show up at the ride you want to ride, and you have paid for your express pass, and you can go right into their express pass lane.
What I say? Oh, next, Peter Pan. Now remember, these are Paris prices. Peter Pan is 15 euros, which translates to 18 American dollars. I would never pay that for Peter Pan.
No.
Great ride, but I would never pay that.
I'll just wait in the standby.
Big Thunder Mountain is 12 euros, which translates to $14.50 a person. Ratatouille is 12 euros for $14.50 American. And Tower of Terror is 15 euros, which is $18 American per person.
Ridiculous.
Now, these are Paris prices. Like Lisa said, they could be cheaper here at Disney World. But then some people ask, do you think, Disney would charge for their fast passes? Yes, I do. Otherwise, they wouldn't be testing this in Paris to see how this works. Now, the prices will be different. This is a test. This is exactly what that is. This is exactly what it is. Let's call it. It is that. This is a test. You got to test it out. If it does poorly, they readjust. If it does great, then you move
everyone in Paris start complaining so they don't do it here.
Actually, there was, what was it? Some big honchos over in Paris who saw lines at Disneyland because people didn't want to pay for the fast passes.
I don't.
Obviously. So which made bigger crowds, a lot bigger crowds with no social distancing. And the guy said, during a pandemic, this is the stupidest thing that Disney did. Nobody is going to pay for this stuff, which is now causing more crowds in a pandemic. They really need to think this through.
It's not necessarily the crowd as much as it is that when you offer fast pass, you can obviously separate some of the people because there's a group of people that are going to be in the fast pass line versus the ones that are in the standby. But I agree, no one is going to pay those prices because that's just outrageously ridiculous to pay on top of a Disney park ticket. No, hold on.
I will disagree a little bit.
Hold on.
I will disagree.
Hold on.
I will disagree, but I'll tell you why then.
So nobody wants to pay the price. So then, yes, you have everybody in the standby line instead of splitting the people, in which case, we're in the middle of a pandemic. Let's socially distance and no.
I will disagree a little bit because I know you said that nobody is going to pay those prices.
The average person.
Floridians will not pay the price because majority of Floridian or people who live locally.
The Parisians aren't doing it either.
Well, I'm just saying, for those who live locally, majority will not pay because if they're pass holders, they'll just, they can go whenever in a sense and, they don't mind waiting in line. However, those who are traveling, who are coming for a once in a lifetime, trip, because that's still what Disney is. It's
there are still
for most people
that's it's a once in a lifetime.
And even during a pandemic, it's still a once in a lifetime trip. I think they will pay for these fast passes. However, I think they will accommodate these passes. You know what I mean? They may never do it for Peter Pan, but they might pay, let's just say hypothetically, we'll say $15 for Flight of Passage. Per person. You know what I mean? If it's their one-time trip, I can see them paying. For us, we wouldn't pay because we go a lot. We don't mind waiting in the line. This is where the difference comes in. that people wouldn't mind paying. And I've read people say, well, I don't mind paying, if I'm only come once every so many years. I get that. I do. I honestly do.
Okay, so maybe it's because I'm cheap, but I wouldn't. I'd be like, well, then I guess we're doing rope drop to park close because with no breaks except to go potty, and I'm carrying snacks because we don't got time to eat.
Yeah.
Like, I'm too cheap to spend that amount of money, which is why I never pay for the Universal Fast Pass, because I'm cheap.
Now, going back to Universal, somebody did ask and you did explain, Universal has an express pass for $70 per person per day.
Per day, but again, it's not per ride, and you don't have to reserve a time.
Actually,
like, you literally can get off one ride, go right to the next one, and get in the express pass lane.
As far as we know, in Paris, you pay for Fast Pass no matter what. No matter where you stay, no matter what. Universal will include
the express pass if you stay at their
Portofino and Hard Rock. Yeah, like that's included.
If you pay to stay at one of Universal's deluxe resorts and you purchase theme park tickets, they will include the express pass in your package.
Exactly. Otherwise, you got to pay $70 per person.
Yeah, if you stay at a hotel that's lower than a deluxe level, then yes, you have to pay the $70 per person per day for the express pass. But Universal also offers single rider for every ride.
There is like a very select few that doesn't, but we'll just say pretty much every ride.
Practically every ride has a single rider line. So if you don't mind getting split up from your party, we see a lot of families
We've done that.
We've done it.
Especially in the summer.
Yeah, and I've seen families with kids where the kids are even willing to do it. Now, we're not talking about young kids, but like
teenage,
or preteen, where they're like, yeah, I want to get on it quicker. Yeah. I don't care if I'm not sitting next to you. Like,
yeah, I don't need that front row or whatever.
Yeah, or I don't need to sit next to someone I know. Yeah. I'll just fill in and
just want to ride it, and I'll meet up with you afterwards.
Yeah, we'll all meet at the exit.
So that's what happens. Now, I understand why Disney is trying these fast pass prices, because I'm sure they have looked at Universal, their competition, and go, well, if Universal does it, why can't we do it? And I get that in a business sense. I really, really do.
I do too, but then I feel like they should do it like Universal.
Do a fixed price then.
Yeah, a fixed price, and don't make them reserve it. If you're going to charge, for example, $70 per person per day, that's fine, then do that. But you don't make it for like individual rides. Like, it's a fixed rate that you bought a theme park ticket, you want to add express pass, or for Disney you want to add fast pass, then make it a fixed rate. Don't do this stupid thing of let's change it depending on what ride you want to ride.
And Paris, when you go on the app, and we'll say Peter Pan, and what I say Peter Pan was $18 American for a fast pass. You have to reserve the ride, so you have an hour slot with that $18, and that is stupid. As like Lisa was saying with Universal, there's no time slot. You go to the park,
and if you like a
you
ride enough that you want to keep riding it over and over and over again, whatever, you can, as long as you.
There is no time slots at Universal.
There aren't. It's just if you have the express pass, you are free to use the express lane.
So I feel Universal is already doing this a little better. So like I said, I understand. And I really, truly think this testing does come from Universal, because if they're doing it, why can't we charge and make some money? And like I said, I get that. But Universal is doing this better, and I think Disney should not charge per ride.
Well,
make a fixed rate if you do it. I understand you want to do it because it's money, you lost money, it's a way to get back money. Okay. I get it.
But I'm going to comment on what Karen said, because I agree. If I didn't live here, and she's saying she still wouldn't do it, because for her family of 3, it costs around about $3,000 for a 4-day vacation to Walt Disney World, because not only do they have to buy their tickets They're paying for their hotel. They're paying for travel, whether flight, gas, whatever. And then you add food on top of it. Like, there's already a bunch of expenses adding up without having to add on the extra thing of let's charge another 50 some dollars per ride.
I'm hoping here at Disney World, because I can almost guarantee you this type of pricing, maybe not the exact numbers, but paying for fast passes is most likely going to happen here in Disney World. It's been talked about for quite some time, and I think this is just paving the way for that. But I hope with Disney World, being that they're only literally a half-hour distance from Universal, literally a half hour, that they would just say, all right, let's just make it cheap and we'll price match Universal, $70, whatever, and just do it exactly the same way.
Yeah, no per ride.
Because that could happen. And this is where other people get pissed off and say, well, why do I have to do that here if they're not we do this a bunch of times. We even do it ourselves and complain why other places do it better than we don't.
But if it's gonna come down to I mean, I wish that Disney wouldn't charge for Fast Pass regardless.
But if they did,
I get it. I would rather them have them do it like Universal and not what they're doing over in Disneyland Paris. Because that to me is like the stupidest thing ever. Because, if I got to go to Paris, that's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime thing for me to do, to go to Disneyland Paris or any of the other Disneys overseas. Like, that would be a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and I still can't see myself spending all that money on top of the money I would already have to spend to get there. Like, that's just a lot.
Or if you're going to do this as well, if you want to do it per ride, I think my biggest complaint is the fact that you have different pricing for the demand of the ride. You know what I mean? Like for instance, their high demand would be Peter Pan is a very big,
or Tower of Terror.
Yeah, so you're charging $18 there, but you're gonna charge then like $9.50 for Star Tours. Make it just one price. You know what I mean? For all the rides, like $10 a ride. You know what I mean?
But even still,
it shouldn't be like tiered, like, oh, this is a high ride, so I want to charge people $18, $20, we'll say $20. We'll just say that.
Let's face it, when you go off of the tiers, people aren't going to spend fast passes for your lower tiers because they typically have shorter lines anyway, that they're not that they're willing to stand in a standby.
So that's how Disney gets you. It forces you to pay that. So I guess that's why they can charge whatever they want.
I don't care. I just don't think that they should do it. I think it's stupid. Disney, don't do it. I think you're stupid.
If they are going to charge, it should be done like the Photo Pass thing. I don't remember the Photo Pass. We haven't done it in so long.
It's included
in ours. I forget.
Pass, so I don't
explain the Photo Pass for me again, because like I said, we've been pass holders for quite some time. I forget actually the pricings with that. If they do that, they might go back to the e-ticket book. E-ticket, I heard, was very, very good. I feel like it should just go back to the whole rip paper system back in the day. Once it was out, it was sold out. You know, you didn't have to go on an app or anything. You just went to the ride, you grabbed your ticket, you came back whatever time it told you. That was it.
It's $169 for your full stay. I think that's for the
e-ticket.
Wow. No, I thought that was for the.
For the Photo Pass. For the Photo Pass. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Yeah, Photo Pass. So that's the news with Paris. With the
Paris.
I think that's crazy, but those are testings, and just pretty much agree that
it sucks.
You know, I think it could be done better.
It could be.
You know what I mean?
Or it could just not be done at all.
I have a feeling it's going to happen.
I know, but here's the thing: is Disney already figured out during the pandemic that they could raise prices and offer less, and people were still willing to pay. And so they have already raised their prices on tickets and hotels and food. Why have to add this other thing? Because I do think that is like there's going to be way more people that even out of state and not locals are not going to be willing to pay. And I think that's where this fast pass thing comes into play.
So are we saying Disney is trying to cut out the lower income families?
They've been doing that for how long now?
It's true.
They've been trying to do that.
True, because
they're trying to price out people because Disney fans and guests have been complaining about the crowd levels for how long now, and Disney keeps trying to do these things to price out people to try to lower the crowds. But the thing is, most people, because like we've already said, Disney is for a lot of non-local people is a once in a lifetime trip. They're going to pay, even with the rising price to come. They may not be willing to pay though for a fast pass. There's a way to get on the rides without doing a fast pass. You rope drop, you bring your own food, and you just take very few potty breaks.
It's true. Mike Eisner on TV said the Target customer makes 75,000 more. Went away. 75 more says people making.
He says people making less just need to save another year or two. Yes, Mike Eisner. So I can tell you that I am then not the Target customer because I don't make that much money.
We don't make that much. We're not targeted people.
But because we're local, you get
the discounted rates, which then, we
get the discounted rates, and we have the opportunity to pay monthly for our passes, which is how we can afford it.
It's true. And then it brings us into the pass holder situation of when they're upping that as well. But let's take a comment here. Somebody just... we pay.
Karen said, that's what I was thinking. They just upped the ticket price, so shouldn't charge for Fast Pass. And I agree with Tony. I like the old paper Fast Pass system. I liked it too. And Ferry said, at Disneyland, we pay one price, and then we get all our photos digitally, or at least that's what they used to do pre-pandemic. She hasn't been back since the reopening. And I've never been to Disneyland, California, Disneyland, so pre-pandemic or post-pandemic.
Exactly.
I guess we're not post-pandemic. Pre-pandemic or during pandemic.
I mean, and this going back with actually this is going then forward with more pricing out people is the new pass holder system at Disneyland, California, which is a higher price. But then we have to also keep in mind tickets were always more expensive at California as compared to, World. When I say World, I mean Disney World.
Well,
California has always been more expensive.
You have to look at it. California in general, outside of even Disney, just California in general is more expensive than Florida because the cost of living is higher there. So
I want to go over... Even though you've seen these, I'm sure, but we're just going to go over them again.
Hello.
Do some Disney. Hello, how are you? We're going to go over the pass holders at California. Now, these rates that you've seen, I don't know if you saw the small prints on them. These are resident rates only. Okay? So... I'm taking this as these rates are normal, but if you're not a resident, you can't pay the monthly because they didn't show any other different charges or anything.
Down here in
Florida.
But
there's two different prices here in Florida. There's the non-resident pricing and then the annual pass holder pricing is two different prices.
I know, but
Disneyland California doesn't have that.
Okay, but you were saying if you're not a resident, then you don't do the monthly. That's exactly what they do here. If you're not a Florida resident, you want to be an annual pass holder, you have to pay the full price.
Yeah, that's a higher price.
I understand that. I'm not talking about the difference in prices. Your statement was that California, if you are not a resident, you can't pay monthly. That is the same as it is done here.
Yeah, but we're getting into what I mean in
you
that.
got an eyelash.
I usually have eyelashes.
No,
I was born with them. I was born with them. They're my mother's.
It's still there.
I don't care. Don't I have to wish her good luck or something?
Blow it, make a wish. I don't know. Don't spit on me. Hi.
Hi. Okay, so the first one is the Dream Key, which is $1,399 a month. Or, I'm sorry, not a month. $1,399 or $102 a month. Now, the perks on this is you can go every day, or you're available. You're not blacked out. We'll put it that way. You can make 5 park reservations at a time. You get 20% off select merchandise, 15% off food and beverage, and parking is included. Okay? So that's $1,399, $102 a month if you're a California resident. The next one down will be the Believe Key, which is $949 at $65 a month. The perks are you get most days. They really didn't specify what most days are, but most days. Instead of 5 park reservations.
You get a discount. It is not the same price. If you are a resident and you're paying $102 per month times 12 months, it's $1,224.
Okay,
so you are getting a discount as a resident.
Okay, so that's what it is then. All right, so then never mind. So anyways, you get most days at the Believe Key. We don't know what most days really entails.
Most days.
Just most days. So, I mean, I don't know what that really means. You get 6 park reservations at a time. The highest tier Dream Key that we just talked about was only 5 at a time. This one, you get 6 reservations. 10% off select merchandise. 10% off food and beverage. This one hits hard. Only 50% off parking.
So every time, let's say you're like us and you go to the park.
Oh, we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about it. Yeah. No. We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about it. Oh,
you
yeah.
Don't want
We're
me to
gonna
say anything.
Yeah, we're not right now. Bag it up. Just bag it up. The third one is the Enchantment Key, $649 or $40 a month. You get select days a year. Doesn't really tell what that really is. You get 4 park reservations at a time. 10% off merchandise, 10% off food and beverage. You notice I'm not talking about parking, because you got to pay full price for parking. Then your last tier is the Imagine Key at $399 a year at $19 a month. Select days a year. Once again, doesn't really say. You get 2 park reservations at a time, 10% off merchandise, 10% off food and beverage. Full price for parking. I think the biggest thing that hits really hard here is parking. Now, I want to go over Florida.
Because I don't know about California.
And I'm not going to go over every single pass holder that Florida has. I'm just going to talk about what we have. Because I can talk about that.
Yeah, and I think because Juice and Disney brought in a good point is if you're an out-of-state...
My parents are here.
If you're an out-of-state pass holder, you don't have as many options as we do.
No. Hello.
It's either water parks or no water parks.
My parents are here. Dad, you want to say hello to the people?
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do. This is Dad. Papa Ears.
Hi, guys.
I look just like him. So I'm just going to go off of what we are. You know what I mean? People are saying, hi, Tony's dead. Mom, you want to say hi to the camera real quick in your face mask?
Yeah, click here now.
Oh, okay. You can say hello.
You gotta bend down.
That's mother. Tony definitely looks like Dad. See?
Yeah.
Spitting image, that's what they're saying. So what we have is the Platinum Pass. So that's what we're going to talk about. Now, the Platinum Pass is $1,195 for non-residents. It's actually $899 with the Florida resident, which comes down to $74 a month. 74 and change it was. So $75 a month. Okay. Now, you get the discounts on the merchandise and the food and beverage. However, currently we only get 3 park reservations, as you know. And we get free parking. But I want to put down that free parking is on every available pass holder, different pass holder here at Walt Disney World. You always get free parking. Is that going away? This is how it pushes you up.
I think
to make you get the highest.
I think if you're like us and we never got rid of our pass, that we're grandfathered into it. I think if we would decide to get rid of our pass and then repurchase it, we could fall into the whole you no longer get free parking. I don't think they're going to take it away from the current package.
I think we're getting a whole new pass holder system, and I think everybody who never got rid of it during the pandemic is eventually just going to run its course, and because everybody's going to be a little bit different times, different months, things like that. But once our month is up, I'm not saying next year it's going to be different, but whenever it changes, once our thing is up, then I'm sure we're going to be forced to choose into a new program.
Well, that's dumb.
I don't think, because I was talking to Jay from Pen to Flow, and I was like, wouldn't it be nice if everybody who just didn't cancel during the pandemic were just grandfathered into whatever
Because
they
I
have?
can guarantee you that if Universal
not gonna
was
happen.
thinking about changing their passes, they wouldn't force their pass holders that stayed with them to do anything because Universal always treats their pass holders better
So
than Disney.
let's go
They do.
let's go off of Believe Key, which
Oh,
is
they're at
California,
California.
which is $949 at $65 a month with only 50% off parking. Let's say that price was actually the gold member here at Disney World. Let's just say hypothetically. Parking costs $25. Regular parking, right? $25? $25.
Yes.
Sorry, I had to look at my dad for that. $25.
I got it.
Okay, so split that in half is how much?
$12.50.
$12.50. So if you go 3 times, you've already screwed yourself out of money and might as well have just upped it to get the free parking. So this is how it kind of forces you to,
Free parking.
but that might go away. Well, that's what this whole discussion is talked about.
It's not that they're not offering free parking right now. We're talking because
Talking to my dad right now.
Disneyland changed their pass holder system. So
And that's what we're talking about right now.
And what they came up with is only if you are the highest tier pass holder do you get free parking.
Which is $1,399 a year at $102 a month. Now the second tier down, because I'm talking to my dad right now. There's Platinum Plus, Platinum, Gold, whatever, blah, blah, blah. We have Platinum. You're Gold. Platinum, we pay $899 a year, okay, at $75 a month, we'll say. We pay around $145, $150 for 2 of us, okay? And we get free parking. Now you pay, what do you pay for Gold?
Well, I'm actually silver.
Okay, well...
Oh, that's right, because they don't go during the summer.
That's right. Well, do you remember what Gold was? I don't remember.
No.
600 some dollars?
600. It was high sixes.
So we'll say probably at 50 some dollars a month?
Silver was like $5.99 or something like that.
Okay. We'll say $700 for Gold. We'll just say. You would get free. Now, Gold, they're saying then, if Gold was equivalent to their, what did I say it was? What's it
Magic something.
called? What did I say their thing is
They
called?
are, I think, changing the names.
Yeah. Believe.
Believe.
So if
Just
Gold
Believe.
was, if Gold is similar to Believe, you're paying $12.50 for parking. You only get 50% off. You're not getting the free parking. And that's what I was talking about that. Every pass holder here, no matter the tier, is free parking. This new system in California, it's only the high tier. After that is the Believe one, which is 50% off. The other 2, you have to pay 100% parking. And this is how, like, if you're a local, what I'm about to say is if you go already more than 3 times a week, you just screwed yourself. Actually, if you go more than 3 times a year, you screwed yourself.
I guess it depends on how local they are. If they're able to hop on the monorail, because you have to remember the Disneyland monorail goes out beyond just Disneyland. It goes to the other.
Yeah, it goes to
businesses.
Well,
So
yeah,
if
because that's their.
If you live in that vicinity, then you're not paying for parking anyway. You could hop on the monorail and just go in.
Well, I'm just saying
that
for
makes
those.
more sense why they would charge because it's over and above Disneyland, or over that, and that's probably why they would want to charge. Whereas in Disney World, the monorail is really only limited to 2 parts, which is the Magic Kingdom, the transportation.
And Epcot, that's all it
Go
is.
any further.
No, they can't. As California, like she said, runs all over. You know what I mean?
does.
And that was Walt's thing, was to incorporate that in with his theme parks. Or not just his theme parks, but to be able to go to other businesses, work, travel, everything like that. Kind of like what our Sunrail station is.
Yes.
But except I think they wanted to do the Sunrail through the parks, it just never worked out.
They couldn't.
They couldn't do it because
swampland.
of
Of
all the swamps.
Get a cement footing.
Exactly. Otherwise, we would have had that type of transportation. So, but for us, it's kind of like this is how Bob Chapek, it forces you to say, well, if you're local and you want to pay less, that's fine, but now you're going to pay only 50% off the parking. You've gone 3 times in 1 week. You've already went
people are saying
over
about
what the cost
taking-
of pricing a day is for parking, right? That's how it's kind of forced you like, oh, well, here, you're going to get my money anyways. Or I'm just going to keep losing.
Tier so you
Yeah.
could just save a few bucks.
Exactly.
And people are saying, well, you could just take an Uber or Lyft, but with the rising gas prices, Uber and Lyft prices
Are
have
charging
gone
you
up.
even more.
So you actually end up paying more to do Uber and Lyft, at least here in Florida. I don't know about in California.
Mm-hmm.
But here in Florida, you're going to end up paying more to pay for an Uber or a Lyft to take you there and take you back to where you're staying.
No, for those-
versus just paying.
Now, for those out of state, it may not matter so much about parking because they don't have a car, or if they bring their car, they're just going to take the transportation because
What'll
they're staying at the
happen is
resort. Majority.
It'll force any tourists to come down here. It should have happened here. It would force them to stay at the Disney World hotel.
Yeah.
Of course.
And that's what it's really
That's
about.
how they're going to get their money.
And that's how they're going to get their money because they're like, oh, if you don't want to pay, stay at a resort. Parking then's free because you can. But no, if you brought your car, they charge you for the parking.
I was just going to say that.
Unless you stay at a DVC place.
Yes.
But they charge you, and that's tiered.
Well, it's not just about staying at a DVC place. You have to be staying in a DVC room.
Yes. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what they start charging for. They're just going to take your money anyways. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
That's true.
That is the truest portion.
Come on.
And with this whole pass holder thing, Chapek just doesn't like pass holders, so he always tries to get more money because pass holders don't spend money.
I was gonna say.
He's bluntly said he pretty much, without saying it, he doesn't like pass holders.
A year ago, their motto was to take care of the annual pass holders because they were their bread and butter. Because they could count on them year after year
But
after year.
they
changing
don't.
the thing.
They don't. Chapek doesn't like us because we don't spend the money on the merchandise.
Which I get. In a business, I get it because some tourist or a person out of state or from another country is going to spend big mucho dollars because it might be a once in a lifetime trip. So they might spend a couple hundreds of dollars on merchandise. As you and I, if we go to the park, we might just spend $30 on food and that's maybe it.
And-
We're not buying
Exactly
souvenirs
what
so
we're not
much.
doing today.
Yeah, and
we're not buying souvenirs.
We're not buying 3 meals a day there
No.
because as locals, most of us don't spend all day long at the park either.
And most locals will go to a buffet or out to eat before we go to the park, so we're not hungry while at the park.
Your sister is a classic
You know?
example of coming down, buying into either a vacation club
Of course.
package or stay on site at one of the
Yeah.
hotels.
Of course.
Now they're buying the dining plan and everything else, which is exactly what Disney World wants you to
Yes.
do.
It's just another way to, price you out, make you go to those highest tiers because you're eventually going to screw yourself
So
if you don't.
Alpha Traveler says Mike Eisner said the annual pass holders in Disneyland don't spend anything. That's why they screwed the annual pass holders during the pandemic, trying to get them to not be APs anymore.
Well, see, Disneyland is a pass holder park.
So
that's
that's
what I've
yeah,
always
like-
called it. It's not a lot of
It's
people
not a
go, but
tourist
it's not a
park.
big tourist attraction.
A
Walt
park.
Disney World, out of all of your Disney parks around the entire
World is the Mecca.
And out of the entire world, Walt Disney World is the one that brings in the tourists. We got 4 parks plus 2 water parks. The other, and obviously you get tourists at all of the other ones, but they are going to make the majority of their money off of the locals.
Right, and that's what really Disneyland has become. It's more about locals than it is about
Yeah.
the
But and
tourists
well,
coming
it's the
out.
same with Disneyland Paris or Tokyo or Shanghai or Hong Kong. Like, you'll get tourists that go there, but their money maker is their locals. Whether they're annual pass holders or not, it's the local people. that are going more often.
I mean, if you think about it, when Disney reopened back up, nobody was coming here because
It was the
a
locals
lot
that were keeping
because
it
a lot
afloat when
of
it
people
reopened.
still had couldn't fly
There
here
were
or
travel
their travel
bans.
bans.
Limited in how to
So,
Yeah.
in a sense, Chapek, your pass holders kept your park afloat.
And no,
Even if we didn't spend money, we
And
kept you open for
I'm
business.
gonna also say too, no offense to the out-of-state pass holders.
No,
but
no
it was
offense
the
as well.
local pass holders that were then coming to your park. And the fact that they were offering all those sales, we were starting to spend money on merchandise and food inside.
And
the parks.
actually paying to go to your resorts because you were doing 30 to 40% off. They were actually giving cast member discount prices to pass holders just so they could get us to pay to keep afloat still. And you know what? We were paying that because we were like, we're getting a cast member price, 40% off. Yeah, I'll stay at a resort.
Price.
We did it. We stayed at Caribbean Beach because it was the lowest I've ever seen the price.
And I was like, well,
for a
I'm gonna
day.
take advantage of it for this time.
You know,
The only thing that draws a correlation would be when 911 hit. You couldn't give Disney World rooms away. That nobody was coming here under anything. You could get an annual a nightly room for $29, I believe it was.
are you moving to Orlando next week? That's awesome. The free parking, we don't know. We're only
Yeah, I mean, Florida has not said anything about getting
everything
it
we're
free.
talking about is not confirmed. Everything is speculation because
It's what they're doing in California or over in Paris.
exactly. So we were talking about before you came here, Disneyland Paris is charging for fast passes. And I'm just going to go over the fast pass real quick.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to the bathroom.
All right, you go to the bathroom. You got baby bladder. I'm just going to run this down for my dad because he wasn't here at the time. So a woman on social media who lives in Paris and goes to Disneyland parks, they started the fast pass system where they now charge you per ride. And it's tiered
I read that.
by demand. So these prices change. So what she did, she gave 6 rides that they have in Paris that we have here to give us an idea of what they're getting charged and what it would be in American dollars. Okay. So Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin at Magic Kingdom right next to Carousel of Progress is 15 euros per guest, which translates to $18 per person if you want to fast pass it.
Just for that one
On
ride.
on top of your already day ticket.
Wow.
That's when I stopped going to Disney.
Star Tours, €8, $9.50 per person. Big Thunder Mountain, €12, which is $14.50 a person. Ratatouille, €12, $14.50 a person, and Tower of Terror, €15 at $18 per person. And we were talking about how I understand because Disney is looking at their competitor, Universal, and Universal charges for their type of fast pass, which is, exactly, express pass. So I'm sure them in the business said, well, if Universal can do this, why can't we do this? So I get that. However, Universal is one fixed price. It's $70 per person, but you can go any ride. And Universal, you could do it anytime you want. You're in the park. Yeah, I want to go ride the new Velocicoaster. Whenever you want, okay, you have the express pass, you can go. Disney, you still have to make a reservation and you still have an hour time slot to get there to spend your $18, $10, $14. It's really
That's
ridiculous, right?
it is. It's a terrible system.
Which I think sometimes Disney may screw themselves in a sense because people who come here and let's say hypothetically these prices did transfer here, hypothetically, people are going to sooner go to Universal.
SeaWorld.
Or Universal is going to say, okay, Disney's doing this. How can we mark down these prices but still make a profit and let's take those pissed off guests?
That's a
They're
very
going to
good
go to
point.
SeaWorld. They're going to go to Universal.
It's going to
That
happen.
will notice that will be anyone that comes from England, the British, because they could easily go to Paris if they wanted to. Or they
Well,
could take the
Paris is
8-hour
doing
flight.
this.
Yeah, or they could take the 8-hour flight and come here. So there are a lot of British that show up here because
Yeah.
Well, there's a
cost
lot of
savings effect.
Europeans
Of course.
in
If
general.
they do that, that would actually stop that tourism from that particular market. And that's where you'll run into problems. That's where Disney will run into problems.
Of course. Yeah, because Disney will lose. But then again, how many times have people complained, bitched about whatever? I've done it, but we still will pay the money.
Yeah, we've all.
Oh, I would never pay money to do those fast passes, would you?
No.
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 And that's what we were talking about, being locals,
It's not too cheap.
and we have annual
You go on
passes. We
free
can go whenever we
rides,
want.
it'd be
Have a big
almost
benefit.
$40.
And the benefit is we can wait in line because if I don't get to ride it, I can go another day. However, Disney, even still
Oh,
during a
yeah, even
pandemic,
too, you're
for
paying-
most
You're
families, is a once-in-a-lifetime vacation. Some of them still might pay these prices.
And say you go on 5 rides, that's
And that's what we're trying to
$250.
target.
And that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what I was thinking, Tony. See, Tony is good. Tony is wise.
Just stay on property at Universal and get the express pass free. Well, you can only do that.
No, you
if
can't get it free.
Only if you stay at the deluxe.
Which is Hard Rock Hotel, Portofino Bay, and one other one I can't think of right now. I can't think right now.
The other one.
I've been talking about that stuff so much I can't even think about Universal. However, I think Universal will take advantage of these situations if they come here to Disney World to lure their guests over. They already actually
do it all the time.
I've seen all over social media people have left Disney completely and gone to Universal,
Sure.
especially during you don't need park reservations. You go anytime you want. There wasn't whatever. It was a little more laxed.
Actually,
And so people were fed up with Disney and overcharging, and Universal stayed the same price.
I
People are already going that way.
But right now, it's not a bad setup for even the local, the annual pass members to go in, because there isn't a fast pass, but technically speaking, you don't need one unless you're willing to wait that 70 minutes for the Seven Dwarfs ride.
Well, and as
Yeah.
of right now, there are no fast passes at
There's none.
Disney World.
Right.
I would be willing to pay the Disneyland version of Fast Passes, which includes the Photo Pass. Are you willing to pay for the Disneyland version of Fast Pass? Well, if it includes the Photo Pass. That's the only thing. If it includes some of this stuff. This last quarter, Universal Studio Parks made so much money, they are now back. Yes, they actually did make so
They're
much money.
now in black and no longer losing money.
My friend who cooks with me as well at the hospital, she cooks at Universal at Hard Rock, and she's been telling me actually today, which is kind of funny, somebody brought that up, of how extremely busy they are.
Oh, yeah,
and
she
she was
told
telling me
me-
about the numbers in the last few months that they were like, we've already blew last year's quarter out the way, already, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, she told me that all the cooks have been practically working 6 days a week, and
That's
they
what
never
she's been
leave
doing.
on time because
She's been
The
working
demand
7
at
to 7,
Universal is
7,
I believe it.
crazy.
6 days a week, 7 to 7. That's how busy they are right now at Universal.
Now the thing is, let's say over the next 3-week period, how much of a drop off is that going to be?
Once school
Once
starts.
school-
Well, exactly. You have
which is
to
starting really this kind
you have to take in a
But
lot
that's
of
how it's
effects.
always been, even with Disney too. Pre-pandemic wise,
Right.
we always had those little drop-offs once school started because even your out-of-state people, most families are gonna wait till their child's school is on break, so that way they
That's
don't
right.
have to
Yeah.
Of course.
pull them out.
And then you have the slow season, then you pick back up for the holidays. So, there's
you
a
get
lot of
slow
up and down, up
again.
and down, up and down. Their biggest moneymaker is obviously during the Halloween, Christmas, or
The
used
holidays
to be.
and spring break.
Used to
Yeah,
be.
that remains to
They're
be seen.
decorated for Halloween already.
I would think
Yeah.
the Halloween, and then I would say anywhere between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Well, did you hear about the new Christmas thing? Speaking of that, real quick.
No,
Christmas.
They're not doing the Christmas party that they always do.
Well, I didn't,
Right.
I didn't
It's-
think they would.
It's an after hours event. They're running it from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. It's an after hours. Now, this is where I kind of had a little bit of a problem. Because, yes, we love Disney, we love this stuff, and yes, Disney is not just for kids, but maybe in my mind, when you take them to that stuff, like, especially now that we're going to have a daughter, I would love to take her to see that stuff. But is she staying up 9 o'clock at night? No.
1.
Till 1? No. So your kids, you're not getting the benefits with your kids is what I'm going with. Now, if you have adults and you're just going as adults, yeah, fine. But if you have a family with really young kids,
They're not.
That's
staying
not
till 1
happening.
o'clock.
That's not happening. You might make it to 9 when it starts.
Alpha Traveler also said that he heard on CNBC that SeaWorld is stealing annual pass holders from Disney too. I believe it
I
because
believe
out of the 3 main theme parks right on I-4 here in the Orlando area, you got Disney, SeaWorld, and Universal. SeaWorld, I think, is like $32 a person per month for an annual pass holder. Like, it's the cheapest of the 3, and that includes Busch Gardens then down in Tampa. So
What was it, 2 years ago? What was it? SeaWorld? Was it SeaWorld that was doing buy our day pass and you got the annual pass for free or something?
right,
It was
yeah.
buy
They
one
were
day
doing that.
and you got 12 months free.
And you have to remember,
We didn't.
again,
Why didn't we
because-
do that?
Because
Just
we-
for gigs. We should all just went for one day, paid a price, and we could have went whenever we wanted.
In fact, I can clearly remember the advertisement.
Yeah, it was two years ago.
And you have
2019.
You have to remember, because SeaWorld and Busch Gardens are owned by the same company, you purchase into the SeaWorld annual pass and you automatically get the Busch
Busch
Gardens
Gardens.
on top of it. And you're good. It's not just here in Florida. You can use it at any other
Busch
SeaWorld or
Gardens.
Busch Gardens in the country.
So
Because I remember we thought about doing that when we went up to Wilmington. Wilmington? No.
Williamsburg.
Williamsburg.
That's the thing.
Not Wilmington.
When we went to Delaware.
No, we went to Williamsburg because there was a Busch Gardens up there. But
Yep.
then we were like, at that time, we were like, we're paying for both Universal and Disney, and we were barely going to Universal. We were like, why add yet another pass on top of it if we're still not gonna?
I know, but we should have just took advantage of that one day, and
we didn't
what's one
think-
day, and we'd have just got it.
You may never see that again.
No, I don't think you will.
And it depends on what happens over the next, say, 2 years.
So we're gonna wrap this up
Yeah.
because we've been talking about this, and that was the only two things we want to talk about. So leave it in the comments below of your opinions. Now, like I said, these aren't concrete things that are happening. These are test sites. California being a test site in Paris. The prices that they have there most likely won't be the same price here. They might be cheaper, being that we're the Mecca, so they might say more visitors come, let's lower these prices. And California's always been more expensive in general.
Yes.
But it is going to probably happen. It's just how. And I would say Disney, even though you don't watch this, but if you were, be prepared because your competitors are probably going to find ways to swipe your guests from underneath you.
And your pass holders.
And your pass holders. If you know what I mean? If you do some of these things, it's most likely going to happen because
Get outside screen.
they're competitors, they're going to figure a way.
And let's face it,
If they can still make a profit
during
and
the
still lower the
entire
prices,
pandemic-
they'll do it.
during the entire pandemic, every
will.
time Disney did something negative, Universal had something to say for it.
Oh, I love it. I love
So,
Universal
they
snide
know
little
that
comebacks.
They're going. Universal knows exactly what to do,
Man.
where without having to overcharge people to come to them, they keep everything the same. And
Everything's been the same.
Steal everything from Disney.
Yeah, they kept everything the same. Pass holder prices did not change. Hotel prices did not change. Food prices may have went up a little bit and so did merch a little bit. But other than that,
They just simply don't have to.
and they
They
said,
don't have to
They have
because
a dedicated
I-
audience.
yeah, I'm not going to do a reservation system. You come if we're not at capacity, come in. If we are, come a little later. There wasn't an app thing to do it. That's
yeah,
how
because
they
there were
ran
a
it.
lot of days where we would go on in the morning and Universal would say that they met capacity. You waited till like 2:00 in the afternoon and they were opened again.
And then they would be right back open.
Yeah.
That's it.
Theme park cat fight. Yep.
That's what it is, a cat fight. And so far, I would say Universal's been
Universal's
winning. During this whole pandemic, at least. Universal has been winning this thing, which is very surprising because everybody looks to see what Disney does and follows suit.
No, ever
Universal
since
kind
the
of went on their own
pandemic,
path.
I would say the
Universe-
opposite.
yeah.
Universal went their own
I
path and kind of,
I think
You know.
Disney World is coming in last.
yeah.
They're-
Because it's so weird because Disney will do
they're
things
waiting for somebody
first.
else to see what they do
Yeah.
first.
Di-
That's what they're
Disney would always be the one who did it first, and Universal, everybody else would kind of be like,
would
all right,
suit.
follow. But no, Universal's like, screw this, we're gonna go first. I'm gonna do
and
it.
then SeaWorld does it, and then Disney.
And then Disney did.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
But then again, some people may argue the fact that maybe Disney just wants to be safe, and that's why they're taking their time. which could be true.
Well, that's a,
Which could be very
that's a
true.
valid
I believe
argument.
that.
People that
I believe
there's a lot
that.
of truth to that.
I believe there's
that's a
truth to
valid
that.
argument.
You know, I think that's very valid.
Most comments that I've read in the newspaper
Mm-hmm. will
tell you that they feel quite comfortable in Disney World, very, very safe.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel safe in there.
Yeah, I did.
And I believe that actually could be true, that Disney was like, all right, let Universal go first. Let's see how it works for them. Oh, okay, nothing's been happening. All right, now let's do it for us. That's a valid argument, and I think that probably is truth behind that. But I'm just saying in general, Universal's been like, let's take the reins and go. All right, guys, thank you for hanging out for this random discussion and meeting my parents. And I don't know, I'm sure you could hear my dad on this as well talking. Joining, thanks for joining. All right, we'll see you next time, guys. Have a good night. Vlog, finito.